It's only been 3 weeks, but finally we are back racing in PSGL F1, and we are here at a brand new circuit, the circuit Paul Ricard, for the PSGL F1 French Grand Prix. And well, I hope everyone's enjoyed the break and done lots of things. We've got a new world champion in the real Formula 1 of Lewis Hamilton, but we are a long way away until we declare a champion in PSGL F1 for season 21. So then, as ever, we have an 18-minute qualifying session, followed by a 27-lap race of this circuit, which has seen Formula 1 races in the distant past, but has returned to the Canada in 2018. And given the great history of France as a motorsport nation, it is good to see France back on the F1 Canada. So then, Paul Ricard, 5.8 kilometre circuit, 15 corners here. It's a really high-speed circuit, 2 DRS zones, and plenty of low camber corners which are going to challenge the drivers. But you know, if you run off the track here, there's enough runoff here to fill an entire country, so there should be no retirements here in theory. And then in terms of the tyres we are going to have the soft and super soft tyres used predominantly if it's a dry race, because the ultra soft tyres wear very quickly, so expect them only to be really as a qualifying tyre. And here are your championship standings then after 4 rounds of the season. We have Game of the Best leading the way by 10 points. He's been the championship leader since the Chinese Grand Prix back in round 2. Blizzard Big C are closing the gap to him, and Cliffy, after his fantastic victory in Canada to make it 3 victories in Canada out of 3, moves into the top 5. KB Killer failed to score last week. CCBRAIN and MichEmery moved up some places, and Ash Best and Lewis, 2 former champions of this division. Lewis, actually the reigning champion, I should say, have got quite a lot of work to do. We've still got plenty of races to go, but we're entering a real crucial stage of the season now. And a quick look at the Constructors' Championship, and we have Toro Rosso leading the way. They slightly gained an advantage, a 7-point gap to Williams, but with only 11 points covering the top 3, plenty to play for in the Constructors' Championship at the moment, with Renault moving up into the top 5, as well as Red Bull, Mercedes and Ferrari dropping out of the top 5. Haas and Sauber, well, they haven't even got to double figures. Much work to do then for the 2 Ferrari power teams at the bottom of the standings. It's all very tight at the moment. No one's really running away with it in either the Drivers' or Constructors' Championship, and that is good to see. But as I mentioned, we are entering a really important moment of the season here. We got France, and then we got Germany, Hungary, and then Belgium before we head to Singapore. And I really think that after those 4 races, we will get a really good idea of what's going to be the championship contenders. So the likes of Lewis and Ash Best, they're really going to have to start getting some results on the board, otherwise they could be left behind by the time we leave Belgium to head to Singapore, going into the final 3 rounds of the season. So the lobby is filling up at the moment. I don't think we're too far away from going, so let's just see who's in there. Yeah, I thought the music would still be too loud for Levy. I have tried to do it, but I will certainly adjust that for next time. But I literally got in at 7:45, so didn't really have much chance to test it all, but at least it's running. That is the main thing. So who have we got here? Got the likes of Chulo onto the podium, Lucas Adventures, some of the regular viewers, Odems, Jay, and well, for that little comment, Odems, you can buzz off. Thank you. If you're not here to watch this stream, then don't comment at all. Thank you. And we've got King Hover as well, F7 drivers, had some good results since going, and I think we are finally going. Yeah, the lobby is loading up right through, so let's switch over to the live feed. And yeah, I have remembered to leave the game sound on this time. Still getting used to OBS. It's really good when it all works. And good to see Leon as well. Now, just to mention, the full championship standings, as you saw on screen, are available on the PSGL F1 Twitter page, if in case you want to see what results, you know, to get a good feel of how the battles are going. And one driver in particular who will be looking to get some results on the board finally will be Leon, who's in the chat at the moment. 0 points from the first 4 races, and he finds himself at the bottom of the standings. But for someone with his quality and pace, he really needs to get anything today. Just a point will do. Doesn't matter what he gets, but you know, CSL Leon, he's the driver to look out for to get a result, because he desperately needs one. He's 41 points behind in the championship, and hasn't got anything to shout for so far, although he has put in some impressive drives. He's just been caught up in a few incidents here and there. So we have 18 drivers out there. Just a few mentions. We have had a few drivers leaving the league recently. Jack Lacey's gone to F2, and Cherry2Pie has also left the league, and leaving PSGL F1 unfortunately as well is the teammate of Cliffy at Renault. QPR Beast has dropped down to F2, but you know, he had some outstanding results in his time in PSGL F1, including those 2 victories back in season 18 when he was driving with Big C at Toro Rosso. So you know, he can certainly hold his head high after his time in PSGL F1. But here are the 18 drivers here. We were meant to have a debutant, but unfortunately he's got a family meal or something like that to go to. So will Ashbeth make his customary dash out of the pit lane to be first on track? Yes, indeed he is. Bright sunshine here at France for the time being. The weather's been surprisingly unpredictable so far from all the other leagues who have raced here. We've had a mixture of, you know, rain and dry conditions. I was actually expecting mostly dry running, but no, we've seen a lot of wet qualifying sessions and wet races. Quite surprising, really. So the circuit Paul Ricard, some would say a bit of an infamous circuit to a degree. This is where Elio De Angelis was killed in a testing accident many years ago, back in the 1980s, and changes were made to the Mistral straight as a result after that, as Ashbeth locks up at the chicane which splits the iconic Mistral straight. So the Paul Ricard, you know, it really fell off, you know, the elite motorsport calendar for a long time after the 1980s, and it was Magny-Cours really which took over the mantle of the French Grand Prix for many years. But then in the mid of the first decade of this century, Magny-Cours of course fell off the calendar, so we had no French Grand Prix for some time, and Ashbeth has left the session. I wonder, are we getting a restart? I wonder if someone has forgotten to change the time. I think, judging by the glare, I don't think it's been set to the right time. So we may get a slightly embarrassing restart for Charlie Whiting and co, who put this race together on PSGL F1. So we'll just go on board with KB Killer until the restart begins. But I will keep an eye on the chat for PSGL F1 just to see what's going on. But yeah, Ashbeth confirms there is a restart, as Tony gives us a rather graphic description of where he is currently located. Kimi Räikkönen, he is taking a proverbial. So yeah, let's just have a look. Yes, because there's mega glare at some of the corners on the official timing, so it's for safer racing it's better to put it on midday, at least in the opinion of some, mine included. So we'll just carry on KB Killer to give a bit of on-track action, a bit of an aborted start to the race tonight. Perhaps everyone a bit rusty, including the admins after 3 weeks away. So in terms of the championship so far, many of you in the chat have watched the first 4 races. Who's really impressed you? Who's really stood out so far? And who do you think will go on to win the championship? I know we've only had 4 races, but you know, have we got an idea of who the contenders will be? Game the Best with a 10-point lead at the top of the standings at the moment. So he will certainly be considered one of the favourites to win the championship this season. With so many races to go, you know, Lewis and Ashbeth, if they can find some form, they can still come back into this in the final reckoning. Blizzard has been very impressive at Toro Rosso as well. The winner of the Senna Trophy in my last live broadcast, of course. Anyone else out on track? Yeah, I think KB's going to have some fun with some donuts. Or not. I know some of the drivers might take this as an opportunity to get some practice in. This is probably what I'd do. Wait for the lobby to get reloaded. And just get some practice in. It's not a bad idea. So some of the drivers returning to the garage. We will restart shortly. But let's keep them on board with Falcon. Who has impressed. And I believe this actually might be a debut for Falcon. Well, actually, Chulo, most of the fireworks we had over the weekend, we actually have. There's a sports field opposite where I live, and they had their firework display on Saturday, thankfully. I think there's a couple of houses behind me which might have a display later, but it's still kind of light here, slightly, not like pitch black, so maybe they're waiting slightly longer to do it. And onto the podium, commenting. We finally got an invite, so I'm just gonna get into the other lobby now. So let's do this. So bear with me one moment, guys. We're just going to join the other lobby. Yes. When I used to live before I moved down to the coast, every fire display was seemingly going off where I lived, but it seems to be a bit quieter here. Most of them are on the Saturday rather than on the actual 5th. But hopefully we'll get some fireworks on track for the right reasons tonight. So we're in the second lobby now, so we will be getting ready to go pretty shortly. And has everyone joined? Yeah, it looks like everyone has joined already. So we're about to, once again, we will get the 80-minute qualifying session, followed by 27 laps of this 5.8 kilometer circuit Paul Ricard, which I have to say, it's mixed opinions, I think, on this track. I'm not sure if you would agree. Some people like this track, some people kind of, you know, don't like it, and me, I kind of just shrug my shoulders at it. I don't know, you know, it's a quick circuit, there's some nice overtaking action, but I don't know, I just don't really feel much for it. Maybe it needs to be raced at a few more times. It's kind of like Malaysia used to be like that to me, but then I really enjoyed that track in the end. So with 4 different winners from the first 4 rounds of the season, I think there's a high potential for a 5th tonight, given the quality out there. But if we will get a 5th different winner, who do you think it will be out of the field? Let us know in the chat who you think the 5th different winner could be if we get one. So we're back in the paddock now, waiting for the qualifying session to restart. So let's head down to the pit lane here at Paul Ricard, which has those sort of alien sirens as you come into the pit lane. Got 26 watching at the moment. Appreciate your viewership as always, guys. It's always a pleasure to put on these broadcasts for you, and hopefully the on-track action will match it. And feel free to ask a question, hashtag AskVenom, and I will do my best to answer it when we have lulls in the session. First question is from Game Freaker. Will Hulkenberg ever get a podium? Ooh, wow, that is a question. I'm not sure. I mean, it's all going to depend on what Renault do the next 2 years. The last time Renault were in Formula 1, you know, they took over the Benetton team. A few years they were sort of not there, but then all of a sudden it clicked for them. And they were suddenly winning races and getting podiums. That's what I really hope, because I'd love to see Hulkenberg get a podium at least. Because I think Hulkenberg is the best driver in the midfield overall. He's not the quickest maybe, but in terms of like racecraft, except maybe for that incident at Baku. Of course, he did have that moment at Belgium, but I think overall this season he's been the best driver in the midfield. And although it's clear at the moment, it's actually darkening already. I wonder if we'll get some rain at the end of the session. So anyone who's sort of going for a cigarette break or something like that, or getting an ice cream like Kimi Räikkönen, might get caught out at the end by some rain. So getting these lap times in early on might actually prove to be pretty important for this qualifying session. So we've got clear weather at the moment, but we may get some rain later on, according to the last race winner in this league 3 weeks ago, Cliffy, who's Tony Plays in the chat, in case you didn't know. So yes, Falcon is indeed making his PSGL F1 debut tonight. So apologies for not spotting that. For some reason I thought he'd already been in this league early on. And good to see LFC for life, aka Stephen Charlesworth. Good to see you. So let's see if we can find someone on a lap. I have to admit, apart from the Mistral Straight, I don't really know this track very much. There's not really many good diagrams of this track, which I can usually go to. Let's go on board with Ashbest then. switch off most of this except for the time. So Aspas then heading through the first sector. Watch for the marker board on the left-hand side, mark a braking point. That's a really nice entry into that corner from Aspas there. Now, getting the race line. Now, this corner here is really awkward, really easy to understeer, lose time as you try and build up the power for the first part of the Mistral Straight. And yeah, nice. It keeps all four wheels on the track just about, so it didn't go over the line. Then heading for the braking zone of the chicane. And I think, you know, some people say the chicane shouldn't be there because they have a full blast straight, but to be honest, it does sort of make it a bit easier to get an overtake. Otherwise, it'd be quite dangerous having 3 or 4 wide all the way to the end in this fast right-hander. So flying through then, probably one of the better parts of the track, that fast right-hander at turn 9. And getting the car slowed down, letting the engine braking do the work through the following sections of corners. And then a bit more engine braking here. Ooh, Aspas going a bit early on the throttle, and that really snapped the oversteer at the back of the car. I think he needed to, you know, just be a little bit more patient on the throttle. Now this corner here, slowest corner on the track here, it's very tricky. You can easily go deep, but actually that's a really good entry for Aspas, and I think he's heading back in. So in terms of the tyre wear here, it's quite similar to China in that the Ultra Softs are really a qualifying tyre. So if it's a wet race, I would expect heavy use of the Ultra Softs, but if we don't see heavy use of the Ultra Softs straight away, I would suggest it is going to be a dry race, because if it's a dry race, expect to see heavy use of the Super Softs and the soft tyre. 129.804 for MaxiLuca, that's not a bad start for the Super Softs. I think it's painfully obvious that those ultra soft times are not representative, except maybe Gamer, who's a second quicker than Leon at the moment. A 2-minute run about how bad the pit lane is, according to Chile. For me, it reminds me of Monaco, except you're going at about triple the speed. It's a very similar sort of entry. It is a bit of a pain, but I personally don't find it too bad. You know, just slow down and you're okay. That's my top gear top tip for entering pit lane. If anything, the exit's not great because sometimes you can end up straight into the path of another car. So overall, it's not the best pit lane in Formula 1. I'll have to give you that. So Blizzard with 129.258 on the Ultra Softs. Now in terms of the Ultra Soft times, I would suspect we are going to be at least 1 minute 28, maybe quicker than that. Some say a 127. A high 27 is possible, and it's definitely darkening. I can see darkening clouds in the distance, that rain rolling down from the hills, so we might get some rain sooner than expected. So some of these drivers in the pit lane at the moment, they may not realise how much danger they're in, so we could get quite a mixed up grid. At the moment it's Blizzard on provisional pole with MaxiLuca in second, and then Gaming the Best in third, KB Killer fourth. Both McLarens in the pit lane. Aspas coming out now, but if it were to start raining right now, then McLaren could be in a bit of trouble. And Cliffy, last week's race winner, well, he's put some brilliant performances on in PSGL F1 of late, and in other leagues as well. I mean, completely stunning drive I saw from him yesterday in another league, which I won't mention, but you can see on his feed, it was an absolutely brilliant drive. In a place where really he had no right to get that sort of result, to be frank. So here comes Aspas. We've seen plenty of him already in this session. What about MichEmery? MichEmery then, or is that Uliazim? Let's make sure I've got the right guy. It is indeed MichEmery in the splendid Red Bull car. So he's on the super soft tyres, and I tell you what, it's getting darker and darker, isn't it? So your prediction for pole position at this point, with just over 11 minutes of the session to go. Blizzard currently holding all the aces, a significant amount of time ahead, half a second ahead of MaxiLuca, although MaxiLuca on the super softs of course. So we will carry on then with MichEmery flying through the opening section corners, being careful not to go too wide, but there are so many runoff areas here. I would be amazed if anyone retires from an unforced error on this particular track. The only way I can see anyone retiring is if they make contact somewhere and get pitched off into the wall somewhere, which we have seen a few times in other leagues, but overall it's been fairly clean. And I don't count F7 in that. Anyone who saw F7 will know that a certain driver with the same name as a certain former PSGL F1 champion in the McLaren, and I don't mean Big C, of course, shall we say, a few incidents, but enough about that. So MichEmery then trying to get the toe of the car ahead, but hopefully that car will get out of the head. Yep, the Sauber pulls off to the side. I think that was Leon. Leon currently in 7th. Oh no, actually it was Liquorblocks, I should say, because Leon is in the pit. So through that, oh, and that was nearly a little moment there for MichEmery, but he kept the car under control. Now heading for the line, and look, the fog is rolling in now. If we are getting rain, it may be only a matter of time before we get it. Ugizim Sambamkid still in the pits. And here we go then, crossing the line, and MichEmery goes third on the Supersofts, Falcon in second. So those are good Supersoft times, and Blizzard is going to try and respond on the Supersofts. So I think he may have been sandbagging a bit, but I tell you what, Blizzard, if he does not beat his Ultrasoft time, he's going to be at a massive disadvantage if it's a dry race, because those Ultrasofts do not last long at all. And yes, Chulo, I actually decided to adjust the T-cam just before I came on, and this was kind of a decent view I got. I wanted to still see the steering wheel and the gear, although I haven't adjusted it quite as much as I wanted, so I need to pull it back a little bit for the next stream, but it's fine for what it is. So Blizzard's on out lap. Now let's see who else is out there. Big C. Let's see what Big C's back in the pits. Currently only 12th position, no time set. Ash Best crosses the line, and it's only good for 11th, but he should have time to go for another one. Oh, was that a spot of rain I just saw? Couldn't tell from this angle. No spots of rain. I thought for a second I saw some drops of rain. CCBRAIN currently in 8th position for Mercedes. So just under 3/10 of a second between the top three. But I think the key driver at the moment for me is Blizzard. He's in pole, but that's, don't forget, on the Ultras. And Abiodun going up into second, and that's on the Ultrasofts. So a bold move from Abiodun. And it's raining. Here it comes. Liquorblocks takes provisional pole on the Supersofts at 1:29.243, and the rain is falling. Liquorblocks, if no one can respond in the next few seconds, I think Liquorblocks has taken pole position on the Supersofts. Where is Lewis? Lewis in the pits. It's not coming out, so maybe he's looking to do the alternate strategy. Ugizim still going, but the rain's going to keep falling, and I think this could be our grid. Is anyone near the end of it? MichEmery retires in 5th. But where is... I want to see what Blizzard's doing. Blizzard's still going, but can he improve? He's on the Ultrasofts at the moment. But that is not going to be good news for him at all. He needs to find a bit more time. It's only 0:15, but Liquorblocks has done it. An absolutely brilliant lap by Liquorblocks. Can anyone respond to it? The rain's starting to get a bit harder. Oh, Blizzard struggling for grip. Going offline slightly, and I think he's losing time. And he's not... He's on tyres that work slightly better in these conditions, of course, but that may not be enough. He rounds the final corner. He actually gets a really nice tight exit, but he's struggling to go back onto the power. He's heading for the line. What's it going to be? Blizzard crosses the line, and he's done it! I don't know how he's done that, despite the rain, but he found the time back, and he has effectively saved his session with that. What a brilliant lap under enormous pressure. And I think surely no one's going to beat that now. KB Killer up to 3rd. It's been a strong session for Toro Rosso. But yeah, Blizzard. I mean, given the rain was coming down, that's an absolutely astonishing lap from Blizzard. A 1:29.162 on the Supersofts. But Liquorblocks, outstanding. Inters for MaxiLuca. Is anyone going to come out and do a bit of running? Big C's out there. Big C still out there. Oh, and he's only just started his flying lap. Oh, dearie me. Clippy in 16, but he's someone who likes to start outside the top 10 quite a bit. Lewis trying to get the lap in as well. So we got these Big C at least. Hamilton and Ash Best back in the pit lane. Big C can probably at least go faster than Ash Best to get ahead of his teammate. But it's not been a good session for McLaren at all. They were, they made a really strong start to the season in the Constructors' Championship, but in recent races they haven't quite reached those heights. They were outscored by Toro Rosso last time. So big C then. The rain, I have to say the rain's not falling that hard, so there's probably still a bit of grip on the circuit, especially on these Super Softs, which have a more kinder temperature window in these wet conditions. DRS is still enabled, so they'll still be getting that, but it won't be long before Charlie calls it a day on the dry running and switches off the DRS, which will then, you know, be curtains for any dry running. Sometimes you get these funny conditions where even though it's raining, it's still relatively good grip. CCBRAIN retires in 7th at the moment. So then Big C rounding the final corner. He's not going to be near pole, that's for sure. But can he at least get into the top 10? It's only 13th for Big C. So what about Sambamkid? He's kind of been under the radar recently. He's still going. What about Lewis? Lewis heads for the line and actually goes faster than Big C by 0.3. So it's 13th for the reigning champion. So we got just over 4 minutes of the session to go. Anyone else out there doing anything? I think it's going to be a rather literal damp squib ending to this session. Leon retires. Sambamkid. I think Sambamkid's still going. So Abiodun was actually cooling off, and now he's going for a run on the Ultra. So I'm actually going to stick with Abiodun because this is quite a ballsy move to go on the Ultra Sauce with the rain coming down. Can he do anything about it? I mean, if he were to get pole like this, even with the Ultra Sauce... Oh, no! No! That is your definitive answer on that. No grip for the Ultra Softs, and he smashes through the sponsor hoarding. And that is the end of Abiodun's session. What about Sambamkid? Sambamkid heading for the final few corners. Currently 18th. One of two drivers who haven't set a time. Cliffy being the other. They're going Cliffy. Bit of an expert of coming from outside the top 10 and getting a good result. So Sambamkid. He's going to head for the line third time. No. God, there's so little grip. Sambamkid barely getting into the pit lane. And Hamilton's gone out again. I guess he doesn't realise it's raining, or maybe just getting some practice in. Abiodun returning to the pits, so everyone's in the pits. Virtually everyone's retired from the session, so it's been a fairly relaxing end to the session. No real pressure. Very close in the top 5, just over 0.3 of a second. It's been a great session for Force India, Toro Rosso. You know, Sauber second for Liquid Blocks. So really, it looks like Ashbest is out there apparently. Ashbest is out there. Well, he's 21 seconds down on pole at the moment, so he's going to look to at least improve and try and get a bit more time. Oh, Ashbest struggling to get around the final corner. Will this be good enough to beat his teammate at least? Here we go, crosses the line, and it's only 16th. And I think he may have invalidated anyway. So the final runner is Hamilton. So Hamilton heading through the opening sector. And, well, he'll be well down the pole time. 25.328. That's almost a second down off the benchmark, I would say. Gamer retires. Just over a minute session to go. Hamilton, 3.5 seconds down on pole position at the moment. I don't think he's going to get pole position, but he might be able to gain a spot or two, which may aid him for the race. Flying through. Oh, he did well to keep that car under control. He had his foot to the floor there. So the Haas driver will give us our last action of the qualifying session. Not as dramatic as some of the recent qualifying sessions in PSGL F1, or indeed any other league, that's for sure. Oh, Hamilton runs off the track. And he'll be on the radio like Roman Grosjean, complaining about the conditions. So is Hamilton going to head for the line to finish the lap, or is it just, yeah, I think it's best just put it in the pit. We can get this race session going a bit quicker. So an interesting session so far, but yeah, Blizzard, a great lap with the rain starting to come down to get just ahead of Liquid Blocks. But Liquid Blocks will be delighted with that front row of the grid. But Toro Rosso, if they can replicate the qualifying result with the a double podium like that, then Toro Rosso will take a commanding lead of the Constructors' Championship going into Germany next week, which I have to say is a race I am particularly looking forward to across all the leagues, actually, not just PSGL F1, because Germany is one of those tracks which at least on previous games has been absolutely delightful to watch racing. So here is our qualifying result. Blizzard takes pole position, Liquid Blocks and KB Killer all on the super soft tyres. Then Abiodun, Falcon, MichEmery, CCBRAIN, MaxiLuca, AMS and Game of the Best, your championship leader, could only manage 10th on the Ultra Softs. And that, well, he's going to have a difficult afternoon. Gamer himself did say he didn't quite feel the pace here. Leon Ugizim making up row 6, and Lewis and Big C, CSR Hamilton, Ash Best, and then at the back of the grid we have Cliffy and Sambamkid. So here we go then. What are we going to get for the race? Is it going to be dry conditions or is it going to be wet conditions? Well, now I tell you what, it's very similar foggy conditions to start with, but are we going to get some rain early on? Very interesting. If we get rain very early on, that could give Abiodun a decent opportunity to gain some places with the better traction off the line of the Ultra Soft tyres that he will be on. So hopefully this all loads up okay. So if you enjoy this race, please leave a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. The only place to watch PSGL F1 each week, Monday at 8 o'clock. And after you've watched this race, don't forget to check out PSGL F2, which is on simultaneously as this one. Or if you've got two screens like I have, watch them at the same time. But have my sound on, of course. So we will get the formation lap, and we will have a look to see what tyres those outside the top 10 have picked. It should be very interesting indeed. So let's have a look then. So tyre choices outside the top 10. As expected, predominantly super softs, and Sambamkid, interestingly though, the only runner on the softs in the entire field. So those of you who are watching, let us know your prediction for the top 3. And later on, I might even throw in a bonus one. Who do you think will get the fastest lap? Someone pitting late on to pick that up. Is assuming, of course, we don't get rain early on, which might prevent anyone setting a very fast lap after the opening laps. So Blizzard then leading it away, currently 10 points behind Game of the Best, and Game of the Best in 10th, and Blizzard in first on track as we start this race. It's a perfect scenario for Blizzard. Winner of the PSGL Senna Trophy, of course, in brilliant fashion at Monaco a couple of weeks ago. So clearly, qualifying is something which really suits the Toro Rosso driver. But qualifying is only half the battle. Winning the race, especially from pole position, is one of the most high-pressure situations. Now, hang on a second. I thought for a moment I saw some rain already. I tell you what, if we get rain immediately, this could be one hell of a start here, folks. It looks very similar weather to what we had just before it started raining quali, so don't be surprised if they're not out on these tyres for long before they're dashing in for those inters. Depends how quickly it rains, of course. So we've got a few predictions from Lewis and onto the podium. Blizzard Lickles Abiodun from Lewis, and KB, Blizzard and Gamer. Let's just go down the field a little bit. Cliffy then, 17th. Again, I have to stress, he is someone who enjoys starting outside the top 10, gaining position, staying out of trouble. He's in great form at the moment, so don't be surprised if he ends up on the podium at the end of this race. Now, if rain doesn't come early, then Game of the Best and Abiodun are going to be really struggling on those ultras after a few laps, especially in race-to-race combat, where you just use up more tyres. It's a really smooth, highly abrasive surface, which causes a tyre wear In fact, the tyre wear was more severe than I expected when I started practicing here. As the tension rises, the circuit Paul Ricard, the grandstands are full. And after 3 weeks, we are finally going to be back for some PSGL F1 action. Blizzard on pole position. Just give me a good camera angle, that's all I ask. Here we are then, the 5 red lights, and we are going back racing once again in PSGL F1. Go, 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 and it's Blizzard away from the start-finish line. Is he under threat at all from Littleblocks? No, Littleblocks has gone off the side. It's 4 wide behind for second place. Who's going to blink first? Let's go behind straight away. Almost 3 wide through the opening corners there. Oh, Lickle getting bashed around, and KB Killer moves up to second. It's a Toro Rosso, 1-2 straight away. But look at that. Blizzard already 1 second ahead out of the DRS zone. The two Force Indians under attack from MichEmery behind. MichEmery moves up into 4th. A nice move behind. 5th, I should say. Where's MichEmery? There he is. MichEmery snaking back. Positions being gained and lost at the back. Leon has had a dreadful start. He's back down to 18th already. But Lickle, he's in 3rd place. Yes, he's lost a place, but actually at least he hasn't lost any positions for the time being. And there's action going on everywhere. We'll just carry on for a few more moments with Falcon making his PSGL F1 debut. He's got a good run out of the Mistral chicane. Can he launch an attack on the Sauber driver? As they fly through the fast right-hander for the first time. Oh, they almost made contact, but just about got away with it. They go heavy on the brakes there, trying to get the engine braking, get the car slowed down. And Game of the Best! Something's happened to Game of the Best! Game of the Best has lost his wing. Has he made contact with someone? The championship leader has had a disastrous first lap. Oh, this is a game changer in the championship. Did he lose control of the car? Did he make contact? We didn't see it, but Game of the Best last. And he's going to have to go all the way back to replace his wing. Unbelievable stuff. And Blizzard, his nearest rival, is leading this race and running away with it. KB Killer in 2nd. Blickleblocks in 3rd, and Falcon just behind him, looking for a podium. On his debut race, MichEmery in 5th. Top 5 slowly breaking away from Abiodun, and I would expect that because Abiodun is not really on the right tyre for this track. And he could lose several places before he pits. But the main focus at the moment looks like the battle for 3rd. Falcon and MichEmery very close to Littleblocks. Ash Betts has moved up to 11th. Lewis has actually gained a few places as well. We'll see the winners and losers at the end of the 2nd lap in terms of the position changes. But Leon and Game of the Best both in the pits for tyre changes. What Game of the Best has put super softs on. Is that an indication we're going to get some rain anytime soon? Well, according to the patch, there should be more safety cars. Will we get some? Again, a good exit out of the Mitchell chicane by Falcon. Trying to put pressure onto Lickle. Lickle using quite a lot of his battery for the time being. And look at that. He goes deep, and that's going to give Falcon the opportunity to take the place. Slight contact, and they both run off, and that's going to allow MichEmery to take both of them. Yes! But once again, Falcon runs off, and to be fair, I think he sort of cut the corner there a little bit. MichEmery round the outside, he runs off track as well. So I guess that's tit for tat there. They both sort of went off the track to gain an advantage. But look at that, Falcon runs wide, and a 5-second stop-go penalty for Lickle for gaining a place for cutting a corner. It's all happening, but MichEmery at the end of that is up to 3rd position. So let's get some details on here in terms of what's happening in terms of position change. So MichEmery gaining 3 places from the start. Ashbest and Cliffy down the order have gained 5 each. So good starts in the midfield for them. So I will certainly like to have a look at them shortly. But I just want to see what's happening up ahead, because Littleblocks wanting to go back into combat against MichEmery ahead. I'm just going to go quickly down the order, because there seems to be a lot of action going on between Ashbest, Cliffy and Lewis, 3 drivers who have been involved in title battles in the past. But we shall go straight back to MichEmery, who's now under threat from Lickle. The DRS wide open. Lickle forced to the outside. Can he go late on the brakes and go round the outside? And he does in superb fashion. Great control by Littleblocks to move back up to 3rd place. But he's got that 5-second penalty to serve at his next pit stop, which could really compromise him. But that was a really well executed move. MichEmery backs off a little bit, maybe trying to preserve his tyres a little bit. MichEmery going to try and come back down the inside of this braking zone. Oh, they make slight contact. Watch out for Falcon behind. Can Falcon get back in front? No, he's not close enough. So MichEmery and Lickle fighting hard for 3rd place. But this is allowing both Toro Rossos to run back. And Hamilton, I didn't even notice he disconnected. It must have been penalty which covered up that disconnect message, but he's rejoined the session. But yeah, that's his race massively compromised. With MichEmery and Lickle having a great scrap for the final podium position. Where is Falcon? Falcon is right behind them. So it's a 1.8 second gap between the top two, and 2 seconds now between KB killing MichEmery. And look up ahead, we're going to stay on board with Falcon because Lickle going down the inside of MichEmery up ahead. Oh, they go side by side. Lickle goes very deep. Look at the run that Falcon's going to get. We're going to keep on board with this. Going to go 3 wide into the following corner. Who's going to come out on top here? Can Falcon squeeze past the both of them? I think he has. Yes, he has. Brilliant racing from Falcon there. And look at this train. All this battling has allowed the likes of Abiodun, CCBRAIN, MaxiLuca and AMS to catch back up. Look how many cars are involved in this scrap. But that was really good racing from those three. They did no damage at all as Game of the Best sets the fast lap of the race out of pure frustration. I'm sure Lickle Blocks diving down the inside of Falcon. And MichEmery running really wide. He's going to have to watch out for the other Force India behind, as all 4 of the cars head up here. But I think there's at least 8 or 9 cars within a couple of seconds of each other. It's unbelievable action for 3rd position. This is all allowing the Toro Rossos to scamper off in the distance. It's a bit Ferrari 2004 at the moment for the Toro Rosso team. And we will go back home. So MaxiLuca just picks up 7th position. MaxiLuca's not had many great results this season, but he is up into 7th position at the moment. Ash Best, Cliffy and Lewis, they're at the back of this queue. So any of these drivers potentially could get onto the podium. The top 2 have such pace and they're not losing time battling as Abiodun gets forced off the track. And into the pits then goes MichEmery. I wonder if that's wing damage. Not going to check at the moment, unfortunately. So here we go then, a battle then. It's Lickle Blocks, I think, up ahead. Actually, who is that? It's MaxiLuca defending from the Mercedes of CCBRAIN. It's actually good this battle's closer, not having to use the HUD too much. And look right behind. Red Bull of Ugi Azim battling hard. If there's contact behind, Ugi Azim and Cliffy making contact. And they make contact again. Oh, Cliffy and it's almost like they got caught up in each other there. So they've dropped positions. Big C into 11th and Sambamkid on the softs moves up to 12th. So that's not a great moment there for those two. That spoiled their progress. But yeah, that's probably the first real clumsy driving we've seen in terms of wheel-to-wheel combat. But it looked accidental. It looks like something out of F1 2016 where the cars just got caught together. Very strange moment there. So here comes CCBRAIN trying to look for a move on MaxiLuca around the outside. If anything, the clouds are clearing up, so maybe we're not going to get rain. There's a bit of blue in the sky. It's a bit brighter. So maybe we're going to get dry running for the rest of the race. Falcon trying to get away from Lickle Blocks. Bit of a gap forming between 4th and 5th. So this sort of large train we've been seeing starting to break apart a little bit, like Southern Rail. Bonus if you get that reference. So here comes Ash Best, who's moved up to 9th, and Lewis just behind him. So the previous 2 PSGL F1 champions now both in the top 10, and they are looking to make themselves heard here. MichEmery is pitted. Not sure if that was for a wing change. He's only 12 seconds behind the back of this queue, so I would say that looks like a normal sort of gap for me. We're just going to keep on board with Lewis. Lewis now looking for a move down the inside of Ash Best. Can he squeeze him out? Ash Best trying to get the power down the traction. Lewis will move up to 9th position. So caught Ash Best a little bit by surprise, didn't he? We'll go straight ahead then because CCBRAIN trying to get back in front of MaxiLuca. Can MaxiLuca go late on the brakes going into the chicane that splits the Mistral straight? Ash Best looking to go back on Lewis, but not quite being able to get back through. Go straight ahead again. CCBRAIN up to 5th, looking for another strong result for Mercedes. And look at that, Ash Best just behind, trying to get a move done. No love lost between these two. Round those corners they go. Ash Best, once again, well defended by Lewis, who passed him just before the end of Sector 1, and he's kept the position since then. But they have lost nearly a second to the cars ahead. But at the moment, Blizzard is going to be taking the lead of the PSGL F1 Championship, because Game of the Best had a disastrous first lap incident which put him to the back of the field, well, all bar one. Let's have a quick look at CCBRAIN once again, who runs wide. Anyone? Abiodun. He's done 7 laps on those ultra softs, so good tyre management from him, and he's still well in the top 10. So I think that's pretty impressive from Abiodun, because I expected the ultra softs to go a lot sooner than that. So he's still in contention for a podium, especially if he pits soon. Might be able to get an undercut. He's got to go a few more laps, you know, just to be sure of using those tyres, which will be the soft, surely, to go to the end of the race if we get no wet running. Now, meanwhile, behind, Lewis looking for a move on AMS. But Ash Best, it's like a leech on the back of that Ferrari, just won't go away. But now Lewis looking to make a move on AMS. He would love to get past him just to give himself a break from Ash Best. Ash Best has dropped back a little bit. Let's actually put the telemetry on just to see. Yeah, not much battery, so he's having to save for a few corners at least. The Liquid Blocks doing a good job keeping on the back of Falcon, but don't forget he's got that 5-second penalty for cutting corner. Oh, Abiodun! Abiodun spins. Is that a puncher? Let's have a look. Is that a puncher for the Force India drive? I can't tell, but it looks like those tyres are gone. Yeah, I think that's a puncher. Abiodun, 1 lap too many, or maybe the temperatures have gone. Abiodun will drop way down the order, and without that protection, AMS doesn't have a tow or DRS to help defend the place. Lewis will go for a move round the outside, and he easily takes it with the superior straight line speed. We'll go straight back to Ash Best. Can Ash Best gets a time penalty for going off the track. Now, can Ash Best get past? We get a really nice camera view. I'm going to switch off the HUD for a few seconds. That's a really nice view. Oh, slight contact with the Ferrari ahead. And look how much difference it's made to Lewis already. He's miles ahead of AMS already. He's got much more pace in those super softs at the moment. Now Ash Best trying to get past the Ferrari, and I think he'll comfortably get this done. However, he's going to be a bit vulnerable on the following straight. He's got much less battery than AMS. So this may not be over just yet. Let's stick with them for a few more moments. It's Lewis gives chase to the 2 cars ahead. Here comes AMS. Can AMS come back? He's going to look for a move down the inside. They're going to go side by side. And there's been some great action in this corner so far. If there's one part of the track where you see great racing action, it is this part here. And AMS will move back in front of Ash Best. That was great racing from both, and they left each other enough room. Hard but fair racing from those two. Let's just have a quick look at Liquid Blocks. I just want to see what... Yeah, and actually, KB Killer has really dropped off the pace. He was a few seconds, and actually he pits now. Not sure what's happened to KB Killer, but he lost a lot of time suddenly. Made a mistake somewhere. Blizzard has a 6-second advantage now. I mean, at the moment, he's in a glorious position to win this race. Let's go back to Lewis. Lewis is a man on a mission. He's looking to move up into 5th position. KB Killer has put the softs on. He should comfortably get to the end of those as long as he doesn't battle too much. So Lewis, he started outside the top 10, of course. So he had fresh super softs, slightly fresher super softs than some of the cars ahead. So he's got MaxiLucaGT ahead of him, then CCBRAIN, and then about a second ahead of him is Liquid Blocks. He may run out of tyres before he can get to Liquid Blocks, but MaxiLucaGT, I don't think he's going to have much to defend with. It's Lewis going to, slightly, almost wasn't enough for him to do it, but he's going to get the switch back now. Lewis will put on the power. Maxi will try and squeeze him off, but he can't do that now. They're side by side, heading towards the fast left-hander again. Look behind, Ash Best still can't get past AMS. Great battle between those two. Lewis, really, it's been a real reigning champions drive so far. Some great overtakes from Lewis so far. Moves up to 5th. Can Maxi come back at him? He's cut the corner. He's probably got a warning because of that. This Game of the Best picks up a time penalty. And meanwhile behind, Ash Best still battling hard with AMS. Ash Best, there's no grip on that part of the track. So Ash Best still getting frustrated. AMS is now 2.8 seconds behind MaxiLucaGT. As Falcon pits them from 2nd position. Liquid Blocks moves up to to second. Here comes Ashpesh then. DRS, he's got so much overspeed, but he's got to get it slowed down. AMS will force him to the outside. Can Ashpesh? Yeah, he's passed him before turn 1, but he's got to get it slowed down, and he does indeed. Can AMS come back at him? No, he can't. So Ashpesh, that's a nice job from him. Lewis pits as well. Big C and MaxiLuca. So lots of drivers pitting then, and they're coming out of the pits now. So CCBRAIN also pitting. Falcon was comfortably able to get... Oh, Falcon pitted as well, of course, some time before these guys. And KB Killer, despite having the extra lap of undercut, only actually gained 1.6 seconds on Falcon, so surprisingly weak undercut. So for Lickle Blocks, he may be slightly vulnerable from undercut from a few cars. He was running in 4th position for likes of KB Killer and Falcon pitted, but there are a few cars not far behind like CCBRAIN and Lewis, so Lickle surely might have to cover those guys off, or maybe he'll think about going a bit further into the race. Meanwhile up ahead, MichEmery. He pitted some time ago, 5-lap old softs. So actually at the moment, in terms of where he is, he could end up being net second, but he's going to have much less tyre wear at the end of the race, or more I should say. As Blizzard then pits from the lead of the race. Here comes the race leader. Everything's gone perfect for him so far. The only thing that could really spoil his day right now would be a safety car for those who haven't pitted yet. Where is Blizzard going to come out? Is he going to have any traffic? No, lost cars coming in. Oogie Azim, Lickle Blocks. And wait a minute. Oh, here we go. MichEmery. Can MichEmery get... He's going to go for a move on the inside of Blizzard. Fresh attraction. Oh, Blizzard's under pressure immediately. I don't think he expected this. If we get a great camera shot here, MichEmery's going to try and dive down the inside, and he will. Contact between the two. And look at that gaggle of cars coming up behind. That is Hamilton and KB Killer. But Blizzard using the superior traction of his fresh tyres to just about hold off the Red Bull. But if he had lost that position to MichEmery, that could really have compromised his race. Here comes KB Killer. KB Killer's going to try and cover the inside. But the Toro Rossos are on the move once again. Goes really late on the brakes. Can he get it slowed down? Yes, he does. MichEmery's trying to go back. A Blizzard who doesn't get a very good exit out of the Mistral chicane. So we'll go straight on board with MichEmery. Look at that behind. Hamilton fighting off Falcon. Out of position. Oh my god, how close was that? MichEmery dives down the inside. There's contact slightly. But look at Blizzard braving it out on the outside. And he somehow maintains position. That was fantastic defending from the Toro Rosso driver. He's gone deep in the following corner. MichEmery, he's throwing everything out this. Maybe he did have wing damage. I don't know, because he could be on a 2-stop. He's already done a lot of laps on these softs. May not make the end on those. Sambamkid will be the only driver who hasn't pitted. So Blizzard is in a net lead of the race after Sambam pits. MichEmery second. KB Killer currently in third. I want KB Killer, thank you very much. KB Killer trying to get Toro Rosso back into their net 1-2 position. MichEmery goes very deep. He's taken a lot out of those tyres on that last lap, I would say, in terms of temperature. Here comes KB Killer diving into the inside. Can they get it slowed down? Yes, they can. KB Killer moves up to second position. With Blizzard having fresher tyres, KB Killer, it's going to be difficult for him to keep pace with Blizzard. His race pace has been so good. And it looks like something's happened to Lickle. All that action going on. So KB Killer in third. Falcon now. The next launch an attack. I wonder what's happening to Lickle. Did he have contact with someone? Lewis is in 8th at the moment. That'll be a net P6. Once Sambamkid and Hamilton pit, who I believe are the only two drivers who haven't pitted yet. So let's have a look. Yes, indeed, that is correct. So Falcon looking good for a debut podium in PSGL F1 at the moment, because he's got a much bigger tyre advantage. MichEmery racing really hard, but Falcon just got better grip there, cuts the corner a little bit, but can he maintain the position? No, MichEmery will have the inside for following corner and maintains the third. Oh yes, of course, yep, the 5-second stop-go penalty for Lickle. Forgot about that. That is why he is where he is. So given how close the positions were between 3rd to 11th, that's cost him big time. Here we go then. Falcon side by side. He's already got the inside. He's got DRS. MichEmery does as well, actually. So can he fight back? I think Falcon's going to... Oh, no. MichEmery round the outside. Can he defend the position? Oh, and Falcon goes way off. Too much speed. I don't think there was contact there. But where is MichEmery? Oh, did MichEmery just get... Oh, maybe he did make contact with Falcon. So maybe MichEmery... yeah, that was good sportsmanship then. If he did make contact, forcing Falcon off. Give him the place back like that. So let's have a look then down the order. To see how Lickle's doing for a brief moment. He's behind Ash Best, AMS in 13th. So Ash Best is still stuck behind AMS. Wow. He must be so frustrated right now. Here comes CCBRAIN then. He's got to get a bit of a move on because Lewis is catching him rapidly. He's got to get this move done on Hamilton now, I would say. Otherwise he could be in a bit of trouble. Lewis 1.7. If he gets stuck in this slow section here, is CCBRAIN going to go for it? No, he plays conservative, playing the long game. But all the while, there's contact from CCBRAIN. I was saying he was conservative, but not by hitting him in the back. CCBRAIN. I want to look at Lickle Blocks and Ash Best because they seem to be having a furious battle. CCBRAIN desperately trying to get past, and this has allowed Lewis to close right on the pair of them. CCBRAIN goes round the outside in the front of the corner. That's actually a nice move, although Hamilton's tyres are gone and he pits. But now Lewis is in DRS range. Let's have a look at Abiodun, who lost all that time. Whether it was a puncher or the tyres just gave up completely. Abiodun qualified in the top 4, but now he's in 10th for the moment. Meanwhile, behind Lickle, trying to go around the outside of AMS. Slight contact. I think Lickle looked more likely to get the corner there. AMS trying to come back at him. Where's Ash Best? Ash Best right behind these three. So a nice little scrap here for P12. Ash Best will try and dive. Oh, he's trying to... Oh, my goodness. Bit go-karting there. Ash Best takes both of them, but that was a bit of a dodgy manoeuvre from Ash Best, I have to say, if that's what it looked like on the actual game. But, of course, sometimes desync, you can't really tell. Lewis has just passed CCBRAIN, but I just want to stick with this for a few more moments. Ash Best has got no battery whatsoever and not a prayer. Ash Best is going to get swamped here. Can Lickle take both of them? Ash Best trying to squeeze out Lickle on the outside, and they're almost free wide again. And they're going to be free wide going into fast corner. I don't think free go into this corner, so I think Ash Best wisely backing off. He's going to fight Lickle furiously just behind. But look at that. Also, CSL Leon's right there. Leon desperately looking for his first point season. He's on 12 laps on those tyres. AMS going around it. Lickle passing Ash Best on the inside, but Ash Best I think is right alongside him still. No, he's behind him again. Can Ash Best go back past? Well, they may be out of the points, but they're being on a great show for us, the viewing public. AMS somehow, despite being overtaken a few times in that lap, still ends up the lead car in P12 of this little group. Ash Best then trying to dive down the inside of Lickle Blocks. You know, Lickle Blocks really shouldn't be, or Lickle Blocks braving it out. And just to add insult to injury for Ash Best, Leon gets through as well. And Leon's going to try and pass his teammate at the same time, and he does. So Leon gains 2 places in 2 corners. Ash Best will dive down the inside. He's like that line all race, hasn't always been successful for him. But Ash Best then trying to just stay out of Lickle. One problem he's had all race is battery management. Once again, Ash Best doesn't really have any battery, so he's going to find it really difficult to defend this place. Lap 15 of a race that has really flown by. It's been fantastic action. And Ash Best runs really deep and he loses place to Lickle. And there's no question that he's driving with a little bit of frustration, getting caught behind AMS all those laps in the first stint. It's got to his head a little bit. Cliffy then moved up back into 10th despite his contact with Ugi's early in the race. But the big story here though, game of the best. The championship leader having an incident on the first lap. We don't know if it was contact, we don't know if it was just an unforced error. But he's currently P18 and looks no chance of points for him unless there's a safety car. I'll tell you what, a safety car would really spice this up, wouldn't it? But there's been plenty of action. It's not by any means been a dull race here. Cliffy catching Abiodun ahead. Let's go back to Liquorblocks though. Liquorblocks looking to get back in front of his teammate who has much older tyres than he does. Oh, they go side by side. There's no team orders here. Oh, no, no, that's not what you want to see. Oh, no, that Vasseur is going to be absolutely furious with that. The two Saubers making contact. Oh, dear. Liquorblocks moves up to 13th, but that just sums it up for Leon. Another race, he's not going to get any points, but let's head straight back to the front because Blizzard is right on the back of Sambamkid. Can Sambamkid do his teammate any favours and hold him back? I don't think he's going to have the tyres, frankly, to hold Blizzard off. It should be a comfortable overtake for Blizzard, and indeed it is. He's got a 3.5 second advantage to his teammate as well. It's looking very good for the Toro Rosso driver to pick up his second victory of the season. Actually, has he won a race this season? Actually, I don't think he has he? No. No, I'm thinking KB Killer won at Silverstone for Toro Rosso. So, his first win of the season. So, yes, we're on board for a 5th winner of the season. Sambamkid finally pits a decent first stint in for the Williams team. So then that moves MichEmery, Lewis up to 5th. And actually, Lewis is actually close right onto the back of MichEmery. So, let's switch our attention then to the battle for 4th. And actually, Falcon has closed onto KB Killer. Falcon's had really good pace in this race. And, you know, if he could get second and split the Toro Rossos, that would be a really good result for him. Let's see what Lewis can do first, though, because he looks a bit closer in this battle than the battle between Falcon and KB Killer for the time being. MichEmery's battery, no, it's fairly even in terms of the battery. And, yes, absolutely right, LFC. There's been fires. Here comes Lewis then, down the inside of MichEmery, and MichEmery didn't really put a fight up there, and that's a clear sign that he's going to be stopping again for me. Let's go back to Falcon then. Falcon, no, closing in. Can CCBRAIN do anything to challenge MichEmery or Lewis ahead? Not for the time being. Actually, MichEmery is trying to come back at Lewis. Tries to cut back, but no. Lewis places the car beautifully to prevent any such move. Wait a minute, KB Killer! There's been contact up ahead and KB Killer has spun off. Well, I assume there's been contact. Oh, KB, I think KB's got wing damage, so the 1-2 for Toro Rosso looks like that dream has ended. Oh, dearie me. Whether it was contact or he made a mistake, he clearly hit the wall. MichEmery pits then, and KB Killer surely will have to as well. And yes, he does. So it's a shame for the Toro Rosso team. Good news for the constructors in a way, because it will prevent, you know, Toro Rosso taking a huge lead going into Germany. But your top 3 now: Blizzard, Falcon, and Lewis. CCBRAIN in 4th. Cliffy up to 5th from the back. Abiodun in 6th. That looks like a really furious battle, actually. Let's have a quick look at those. Yeah, very, very close between these 3. Cliffy up to 5th. Abiodun in 6th. Where's MaxiLuca? MaxiLuca on for what would be, I think, one of his best results of the season, actually. His best result was an 8th position back in China. So, finishes 7th. But Big C's right there as well. So, Big C looking to get some points. Here comes Abiodun trying to go around the outside of Cliffy. Can he get it slowed down? Yes, he does. Good move from Abiodun. Same tyre wear for these 2 drivers. It's going to be touch and go for them to get to the end, but they should just about do it. They don't battle too hard. Liquorblocks is back into the points thanks to MichEmery and KB Killer's problems. Ultra Softs for KB Killer. Well, I tell you what, KB Killer might even struggle to get to the end from here on the Ultra Softs. As MichEmery immediately passes Leon for 13th. Well, Abiodun getting all out of shape as we head to the final section of corners here at Circuit Paul Ricard. Well, this is the first time PSGL F1 has ever raced here, and it's delivered some great action, hasn't it? And a time penalty for Blizzard. Oh, I tell you what, that could be a moment in the race, because I don't think Falcon has any penalties, I believe. So Cliffy trying to get back past MaxiLuca. Big C just holding off at the moment. The wise head on that 7-time champion shoulders. Maybe he senses there could be some incidents up ahead which would gain him some free places. And just looking back on the stream and rewind, and let's see. Yeah, and just to confirm what Chilo said, yeah, indeed, Falcon does have penalties, so it's even penalties. So at the moment, as long as Blizzard doesn't get any more, he should be okay. CCBRAIN's actually close to within half a second of the reigning champion in the battle for third. So CCBRAIN showing good pace once again. Got a podium at Britain, of course. Then he picks up a 7th place last time out of Canada. So he's having a pretty solid season so far. I can only assume that KB Killer either had an incident with Falcon or he just lost it. But whatever happened, he went into the wall coming out of the fast corner and he lost most of his right side of his wing. And KB Killer confirming that there was contact. But I have to wait to see in the stewards how much contact there was. There's so much going on, it's hard to keep up sometimes. So who's got the better exit out of this corner then? It's MaxiLuca. Yeah, MaxiLuca's closer actually to Cliffy than Cliffy is to Abiodun. But this little battle could go on for a while yet. 3.4 seconds then between the top two. MichEmery setting the fast lap of the race for 1:32.145. Gaming the best, 8.2 seconds behind Hamilton. He's going to not score points for the first time this season. Which would be a desperate shame for him, but great news for Blizzard in the title battle before we head to Germany next week. Here we go then, MaxiLuca trying to close onto the back of Cliffy, but Cliffy's got DRS. I think if he didn't, I think Maxi would have been able to pass. So this battle carries on. Here we go then. So at the moment, Leon's pointless run in this league looks set to continue. He's only 17th. Ash Best down in 16th. It's just not been the kind of season he would have expected so far. And given the way the results are, even with the amount of races we have left, Ash Best's chances of winning the championship this season to become a double champion look pretty remote at the moment. We've still got plenty of races to go after this. We've got 6 races after tonight's French Grand Prix. Lap 21 then at Paul Ricard and PSGL F1. The story's mainly been about Blizzard leading from the front, but also the big headline has to be Gaming the Best incident on lap 1, which has put him way out of the points and will cost him the lead of the championship. As this battle continues on, I'm just going to have a quick... actually, let's just stick on this for a few moments. Let's just look at Leon. Leon's battling hard with Ash Best in what is a battle for P16. This is not positions that either driver would want to be battling for, really. KB Killer's left the session, incidentally. Yellow's in sector 1. So anyone had an incident. And oh, Liquorblocks is out of the race. What's happened? What has happened to Liquorblocks? That's in sector 1. As this battle carries on. So he lost it somewhere. Any yellow flags? Any safety car maybe? Which would really throw the cat among the pigeons. Yellows, we can see the yellows. Where is Lickle's car? I don't see it. So let's carry on. As Cliffy closes onto Abiodun once again. Now Big C right behind MaxiLuca as well. Nickelbox got a punch on 58%. Wow. He was on the soft tyres. Wow, that's really unlucky if that happened. So Liquorblocks, well, great qualifying session. But that's really bad luck. 58%. The softs usually go a lot further than that. Next, this battle for 5th position is going all the way to the final lap by the looks of it. Big C, you know, he hasn't really gone for any moves yet. He's biding his time. I think he's going to let these guys wear out their tyres, kill their battery. Yeah, he's got much more battery than any of the 3 cars ahead, so he's playing the waiting game on this. 5th is the best he's going to get at this point, unless there's a retirement in the top 4. Top 4, except for Lewis. I might have a look at Lewis and CCBRAIN in a minute. We've spent quite a few laps with this. Game best pits up a 3-second time penalty. The only chance really Game of the Best had of getting into the points after that first lap was to get a safety car, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, although the patch promised us more safety cars, we've not had any tonight, despite some incidents where arguably we should have had one. We've only had one retirement so far, technically two if you count KB Killer who left the session. As Big C continues just to drop back and just bide his time. Cliffy runs wide. Still a good result for Cliffy. Oh, Maxi slightly caught out by the late braking. The early braking of Cliffy nearly slammed into the back of him. But Cliffy's gained 11 places. But Lewis, I would say, a contender for driver day if he can stay on the podium from where he started, which would be his second podium and a welcome result for the reigning champion. Around the final corner they go then. Lap 23. 5 to go. Oh, Cliffy getting all out of shape out of the final corner. And this is surely going to be a good opportunity, even with the DRS for Maxi, to go onto the attack. And Big C will be licking his lips to see if there's any contact between the top two. And Cliffy picks up a time penalty. He's going under pressure a bit. Maxi makes a real meal of turn 2. And now Big C. Is this the moment where he makes his move? He makes his attack. Not on this occasion. Abiodun able to scamper off a little bit out of DRS range of Cliffy. So Cliffy will not have the DRS this time to defend his position. MaxiLuca's got plenty of battery. Is he going to go onto the attack now? Yes, he ramps it up to 4. Cliffy's going to have to try and defend for all his worth. The battle for P6 then. At Paul Ricard as we head into the Mistral chicane. As Ashpesa Leon seemingly still having a raging battle down for 14. Abiodun, oh, Abiodun picks up a 3-second time penalty. I just want to have a quick look at CCBRAIN. CCBRAIN right on the back of Lewis. I mean, this is a great race pace from CCBRAIN. I think we'll stick with this for a few moments just to see what happens. I bet MaxiLuca makes an overtake now, and after all that, we missed the action. Such is the way for commentator. Oh, Lewis struggling for rear grip out of that corner, but gets it slowed down for the final corner. And actually, unlike the previous corner, gets much better traction, which gives him half a chance of defending this one. MaxiLuca, I said it. MaxiLuca passes Cliffy, going to the final corner. They make slight contact. Here comes Big C. Big C is going to try and pass at least one of them. MaxiLuca passes Cliffy. Cliffy's backs off. Obviously didn't feel he had the speed to on the straight after the contact with MaxiLuca at the previous corner. So Big C makes his move up 7. Oh, MaxiLuca! He's lost it! He's lost it! Oh no! Went on the curbs, lit up the rear tyres, and it's unfortunately one of those sort of MaxiLuca incidents. Both Red Bulls in the points now. That is a shame. We just saw the back end kick out, and that was it. Game over, as they would say on Sega back in the day. CCBRAIN right on the back of Lewis. He's giving Lewis a run for his money, for sure. We're going to focus our attention now in the closing laps on the battle for the final podium position. There'll be no interviews tonight, just to make you aware of that. If you've enjoyed this race, please leave a like. As CCBRAIN goes down the inside of Lewis up to 3rd. What a move from... Can Lewis come back at him? He's got battery. He's going to have to store it up a little bit. But this is a surprise. CCBRAIN with his best performance, I would say, of the season so far. Yes, he got a podium at Britain, but that was more down to penalties. This is down to pure speed, and it's been really impressive from him. Yeah, yes, these two are a long way behind the top 2. Falcon, we have to mention him as well. On his debut, he's going to be finishing 2nd. What response does the Ferrari driver have for CCBRAIN? Can CCBRAIN break out the DRS? Sambamkid, 15th, catching up to Leon. I mean, look at some of the gaps outside the top 10. That's how badly some of the races have been compromised. So we've had 3 retirements, 2 of them on track, 1 a disconnect after KB Killer made unfortunate contact with Falcon. Something we might see in the stewards later. But we shall see. It's a ghost car up ahead. You can just see Falcon exiting the chicane up there. Right, so let's go back to tyres. How many laps? So 14 laps for Blizzard. He's fine, and I think all of the top 4 should be okay. A few question marks. Abiodun, Cliffy, maybe not to get punches, but maybe for the tyres to go off. Big C He's concentrating mostly on defending Cliffy. He's not able to catch up to Abiodun at the moment. Be a good result for Abiodun at the moment. The real winners today look like to be the Toro Rosso team in terms of the Constructors' Championship. They're going to be gaining quite a bit of a gap now to McLaren and Williams. Both Williams outside the points. Only one McLaren in the points. Big C in 6th. So they'll be gaining 11 points on McLaren, and they'll be gaining 16 on Williams. So for the first time, we'll have a clear advantage at the top of the Constructors' Championship. As Cliffy makes a bit of a meal of the open corners, maybe distracted by the ghost of KB Killer. I know it's not Halloween, but yeah, it's a ghost. So here comes Lewis. Lewis trying to store up some battery for a final attack. CCBRAIN is now the hunted. He worked really hard to get that move done. Can he hold on for the final few laps and get what would be a fantastic podium for the Mercedes driver? His 2nd of the season. Look at that. He's got no straight line speed whatsoever. Will Lewis go? No. Lewis backed off slightly. He's going to try and force CCBRAIN into a mistake coming out of the chicane. But no. Good job from CCBRAIN. Now Lewis will go onto the power again. No, he's still got it in 0. Back up to 3. So I think he's storing his battery. I think he's going to wait for the final lap. Store as much battery as he can. Just keep just in touch. There is a battle going on. Oh, just stick with this for a few more moments. No, MichEmery's already passed Ugi, so we won't go back to that one. So Blizzard about to start his final lap then of the French Grand Prix. Falcon in 2nd. Lewis then. Will he go on the attack now, or will he wait for the main DRS straight? How much battery? Yeah, he has significantly less battery than Lewis. Lewis is going to be, he's got it only in mode 2. He's going to use the DRS to stay in the slipstream of CCBRAIN. It's going to be an all or nothing attack on the Mistral Straight. That is clearly what the story is going to be. Your top 10, Blizzard, Falcon, Brain, Lewis, Abiodun, Big C, Cliffy, AMS, MichEmery, and Ugi making up the top 10. Ugi on for his first point since the opening round of the season, where he got that superb 3rd place. But he's under threat from Hamilton behind, so he may yet lose that position. It's not a good exit from Lewis, though. He was saving his battery. He's going to have DRS, but he's going to have to put all of it. But he's actually running low on fuel as well. And CCBRAIN doing a great job. Yellow's in Sector 1. Someone gone off somewhere. Don't see anyone losing time. Oh, it looks like Hamilton's gone off somewhere. Maybe trying to pass Ugi, because he's now dropped well off. So Ugi looks good for the points. It just looks like Big C is actually closer to Abiodun. I'm going to have to look at Blizzard. Where's Blizzard? Blizzard entering the final section of the lap. Can Big C get close to Abiodun? What about Lewis? No, he can't. But here comes Blizzard then. Absolutely brilliant performance in qualifying when the rain came down to snatch it from Lickle. And Blizzard is not only going to take the checkered flag, he's going to take the lead of the championship with victory here at Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. Fantastic drive from Blizzard as Falcon takes a superb 2nd. And actually, in the end, Lewis has taken both of them for 2nd. Wow. So Lewis, in the end, picking up 2nd. What a result for Ferrari. Its best result of the season. And that may yet prove to be really important at the end. Falcon, denied a debut podium, but still 4th place on his PSGL F1 debut. That's a good effort from him. Big C in 6th. Let's go to the race winner, enjoying the moment here at Paul Ricard. The crowd rising to their feet. It's been a faultless drive from Blizzard. The 5th different winner in PSGL F1, just proving how competitive this league has been so far this season. And that's before we go to the likes of Germany, Budapest and Spa next week. But I have to agree, that was an absolutely brilliant drive from Blizzard. But Lewis, he was my choice for driver of the day, but definitely now 2nd place. How many positions did he gain yet? 11 positions. I think most would agree he is the driver of the day today. Let me know in the chat what your choice for driver of the day is. I think it'll be quite an easy choice. Still waiting for Sambamkid to finish. As Blizzard enjoys the Mistral chicane and punches the air in delight. great win then for Toro Rosso. Here we go then. It was looking good for a Toro Rosso 1-2, but in the end, only one Toro Rosso finishing on the podium. But it was Blizzard who gets the victory and the lead of the PSGL F1 Championship after 5 rounds. Lewis and CCBRAIN, he definitely deserved the podium today. Fought and passed Lewis and held him off in the closing stages. So really, the 3 drivers on the podium, superb drives from what we saw. But who knows, there might be a few incidents in the stewards later, but I'm not going to comment too much on that. It's not my place to, as we get a weird limbo style effect on the screen. And great experience there for me. Thank you very much, Codemasters. And here is your provisional result then for the PSGL F1 French Grand Prix. Blizzard takes the victory from Lewis, and then CCBRAIN in 3rd, Falcon 4th on his PSGL F1 debut, Abiodun in 5th, completing a good day for Force India. Big C in 6th, AMS in 7th, so a double point score for Ferrari. Cliffy in 8th, but still 17th to 8th, still a decent day's work for Cliffy. MichEmery unfortunately had to do 2 stops, so that curtailed his progress, but it's a double point score for Red Bull for Mitch for the first time this season, with Ugi team finishing 10th. Hamilton kind of compromised by that disconnect early on in 11th. Leon in 12th, still looking for his first points for the season, but I'm sure his luck will change at some point. Game of the Best, though, one of the big stories today. No points for him. We don't know what happened to him. I'm sure we'll find out later, but first lap incident cost him big time. Ash Bess in 14th, Sambamkid in 15th, KB Killer, MaxiLuca and Liquor Blocks. Your 3 retirements from this race. Well, that was very entertaining stuff. I think you'll agree. And we will see you again in a week's time at 8 o'clock for the German Grand Prix. If you enjoyed that race as much as I did, leave a like. And if you haven't, please subscribe. So then, the story of the day then. While Gamer did not have his best day, Blizzard has blitzed the opposition here at France to take the lead of the PSGL F1 Championship. Thanks for watching and see you next time.